Well, it's the finale of the World Cup. It's England hosting New Zealand out Lords. Can the underdog upset the favourite? Well, the favourite going into this match is definitely England, but don't write New Zealand off. They fight right to the end. Now for New Zealand, the opening batsmen have to stand up. They have been poor through this tournament. They've only had one partnership of over 50, and that was 137 against Sri Lanka early on in the tournament. They've had 5 opening stands in single figures. Not good enough. If you're going to win this final, you've got to get off to a good start and relieve the pressure from that middle order. And that's where England are strong. The partnership there of Bairstow and Roy have been dynamite throughout the whole tournament. They've had 4 partnerships in the hundreds. 123 against New Zealand, 124 against Australia, 128 against Bangladesh, 160 against India. And they get them out a good clip as well. Now, New Zealand have to be on the money with the ball straight away. They've got to apply the pressure. Don't give them easy runs. Now, these two teams played against each other about a week and a half ago. England won by 119 runs. They'll cock a hoop about that. There's no doubt about that. They're going in this game quietly confident. But they had the run-outs of Williamson and Taylor. It was poor running between the wickets. It cost New Zealand that game, and it won't happen again in the final. So, England, don't think it's just going to happen, because it's not. Now, it's Ask Hoggy. We're going to get in and look at a few questions. Firstly, got Ajinka Latgar. Why didn't Australia play Coulter-Nile in place of Stoinis? I think they were worried about Coulter-Nile's consistency with the bat. He made 90 against the West Indies early on in the tournament, but remember, that was his first 50. But you look at Stoinis' batting display, it's been abysmal, and he hasn't really got on the wickets tally as well. So I probably would have gone with Coulter-Nile in this fixture, just with the extra bowling, especially since the selectors were going to move Carey up to number 5. You've got plenty of depth that all those bowlers can handle the bat. Cummins, Stark, Lyon and Behrendorff, they can all hang around and get some runs out the end of the innings, and Stark showed that the other day. They probably should have taken that risk in hindsight, but they didn't, and they were out of the finals. They didn't quite get there in the end. Aria. What do New Zealand need to do to pull off an upset and beat England? Well, said in the preview, the opening batsmen have got to stand up, but you're bowling against Bairstow and Roy. There are a few things here that I think New Zealand should do. Yes, start with Bolt, try and get that ball to swing. If it doesn't swing after the 3rd or 4th over, I'd bring in one of the part-timers, Neesham or de Grandin, and get them to bowl cross-seam, and hopefully there will be variable pace off the wicket, which won't allow those two openers to get their timing, and they'll get a little frustrated and create those catching opportunities in front of the wicket, and definitely open up with Santner. Jason Roy struggles against spin early on, and Bairstow has a bit of lead feet too early on against spin. So they're the options that New Zealand have got up their sleeve to get the ascendancy on England. You've got to take a risk. England are the dominant side over the last 2 years, and I think those suggestions are worth it. Now, Srinivas, who disappointed you most in this World Cup, Maxwell or Stoinis? Well, you've given me a headache on this question. Both have disappointed me. Stoinis just hasn't done it with the bat. He's looked good for short periods of time, but just couldn't go on with the innings. Yeah, the pressure got to him. And then you look at Maxwell. Maxwell has got so much talent, but he struggles against the fast ball when it's over 145. Now, he's had a long career so far. He's been dropped a number of times for Australia. He hasn't worked on his game. He's paid the price, and I don't think he'll play one-day cricket for Australia for a while now. He'll have to go back to state cricket, prove himself, and work on those aspects of his game. And I think Stoinis is in trouble as well. I don't think those two will play in the next World Cup in 4 years' time, and that's what Australia have got to do. They've got to find a batsman who can handle the pressure in the middle order at number 5 and they've got to find an all-rounder that can take wickets as well as keep the run rate down and get big scores under pressure. We've got 4 years to work that out, Australia. Let's do it. Lockie and youngsters around there, around Australia, anyone who's an all-rounder like Wildermuth, Mitchell Marsh, left. The opportunity's there for you now. Now, Lockie, do New Zealand bring back Munro to open with Guptill or stick with Nicholls? Now, I knew this was coming, Aria, so I saved this little bit for a little bit later. Munro's got to come in for Nicholls, especially in this game. It's a huge fixture. You need to get off it to a start. Yes, you need that conservative opener. That's Guptill out the other end. But if you look at the history of these of the opening stands, they haven't performed. So New Zealand can take a risk with Munro. If he gets off to a flying start, gets a quick 30, hopefully 50. If you're greedy, he even gets a bigger score than that. He puts England on the back foot. He puts the pressure on England and all of a sudden relieves the pressure of that middle order. But if he doesn't come off, New Zealand haven't lost anything. Williamson and Taylor are in just as normal, and they're used to those situations. So I like that, Lockie. Bring in Munro. Best captain in terms of performance and tactics in this World Cup. This is Puneet Wasan. Now, Puneet, the best captain is definitely Kane Williamson. With the bat, he's a leader, he's under pressure, he's summed up the conditions, and he's taken it upon himself to lead the way with the bat. So the others have to follow Kane Williamson's example. When he's out in the middle with the ball, he's making the right changes with his bowlers, but he's also setting the right fields. And that's why New Zealand are in the final, and the other two teams in that 4 didn't get there. Great decision making by Kane Williams. He is an absolute jet. Now, do you think MS Dhoni should retire and let Shubs? Sorry, I'm going to do that one again. Puneet Wasan asks best captain in terms of performance and tactics in this World Cup. Definitely Kane Williamson. New Zealand haven't got the resources. They've got limited player depth in their small country, and he's come over and led the way with the bat in the pressure situations. He's led from the front. When it comes to the fielding, he's tactically correct. He's got the fielders in the right place. He makes the right bowling changes, and that's why New Zealand are in the final. Simply because of Kane Williamson's brilliance in the mind. Pundit, do you think MS Dhoni should retire and let the younger generation take over? Pundit, I don't think MS Dhoni should retire. As far as I'm concerned, if you've got the heart, the passion, you keep playing as long as you can, MS. And the younger players, if they want that position, they want his position, they've got to keep performing and kick MS Dhoni out. The likes of Pant, brilliant talent, can win a game off his own bat, but he doesn't sum up the situation. When he gets his team into a winning position, he throws his wicket away too many times. He doesn't take the team over the line. So young Rishabh Pant, learn from MS Dhoni, try and take the game right to the end and win it for your team. The more times you do that, the more chance you've got of playing for India. But anyway, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe downstairs, get on that bell. That will give you a notification of when the next video is coming out. I'll see you in a while. Good luck to the two teams today, and I think New Zealand might cause a little upset.